Happy New Year. I'm so drunk. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. SwingBadder. I hope all of you are sober enough or remembering enough of what you did last year to know that this year you shouldn't do that again. This is the year of 2023, the year of budgets, the year of budget cuts. Don't spend your money like baseball. Don't be like a GM. Don't go shopping and throwing your money around. Don't buy the things you don't need and then throw the food out you don't want. Don't do that. Be better than that. Don't be a SwingBadder this year. Be better than that. I'm your host, Brendan. Welcome to SwingBadder Podcast. I'm here with my favorite, the one, the only, Todd. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing excellent. I'm very excited about the 20% off coupons at Bed Bath & Beyond. Dad's got me hooked on it. That and Home Goods. So, Dad, thanks for that one.
You got it.
And my other co-host, Dad, this is depressing. This is how we're starting. Dad, go ahead.
Well, if you're going to Bed Bath & Beyond and Home Goods, you're going to end up with a house full of sheets and towels and knickknacks that you never quite figured out what they're for. But anyway, it's coupons. Save your money. I agree with that. Be careful. Since when did SwingBadder become a life advice counseling group?
Well, listen, now that you're talking about sheets and towels and what you end up with if you shop for bargains, can we talk about Evan Longoria going to the Diamondbacks? Like, use that as a hopping off point?
Yeah. As a Diamondback fans, I'm all in on that. I think he made $15 million playing for the Giants.
And he's not making that with the Diamondbacks. This deal's guaranteed $4 million with another $1 million available in incentives if he gets there.
$4 million. So we got him on the cheap. He's a veteran. Can fill in third base when they need to give their third baseman a rest. He can bats pretty good against lefties. He's got experience. He's not going to be a full-time starter. He's going to be filling in, and for $4 million, I think it was a good attempt. Brendan, you look like you disagree.
This is the only reason you would sign him is because Bumgarner wanted a friend. And if we're going to give Bumgarner some friends, sign Brandon Belt as well. I mean, he's still out there. I mean, at this point, no one should have signed this guy. He's not a fan favorite. He bats right. He's 37. He will not be playing. He's $4 million, $1 million of incentives. He won't hit any of those. That's a guarantee. So I guess you could come back as the GM and say, see, I saved $1 million. It's fake savings, everybody. We're in the year of fake savings. So when you go out to the store and you buy shoes for $50 and they said, why did you spend $50? You said, no, I saved $20. There was off by 25%. There was a coupon. I had a coupon, $20 off. I saved $20. You're still out $50. The Diamondbacks are out $4 million. They could have signed so many better players. This is a non-help, non-factor, and all it is Bumgarner wanted a friend to talk to in the dugout, so we spent $4 million for his friend. I understand that. When I'm really wealthy, I'm going to spend money for my friends to come and hang out with me. Joe Rogan calls it a podcast. He's very wealthy, hangs out with his friends. I get it. I totally understand it. And in baseball, we call that the Diamondbacks. I guess he's a golf friend, golf buddy. So if you're in one of the beautiful courses in Scottsdale and Bumgarner and Longoria come behind you on a foursome, just let him play through.
So he was injured a lot last year.
You mean he was injured a lot the last 3 years?
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm looking at the injuries now just for last year. I mean, well, starting in 21 or 20, he had an oblique. He missed 9 games, shoulder 70 games, finger 13, finger 35, oblique 11, hamstring 16, thumb 3.
He's close to the age that he gets hurt getting out of bed.
Jeez. I mean, well, you're paying $4 million.
How many games did he play last year?
Not enough.
Do you have a number?
Not enough is
last year, 89 games, 67. He started at bats 266. So,
if they're thinking like me, 2-3 times a week and pinch hitting, that's what you're using for, and you have him as as a cheerleader in the dugout for the young guys.
Brendan, you called this. You said there were guys like Evan Longoria that you could pick up and plug and play into different positions and that this would be good. And now all of a sudden you're saying this is a bad deal just because it's the home team?
He would be great for the Boston Red Sox, the Texas Rangers, all of the teams, that the Colorado Rockies, but not the Diamondbacks. I didn't want to see him on the Diamondbacks because I wanted to make fun of the other team. Now I have to make fun of the team I like. Is he going to be the third base coach? Do we get a 2-for-1 special? Does he get to do something other than play baseball?
He's going to be there when the kid strikes out 3 times in the game. He's going to put his arm around him and say, hey, I've done that 100 times. Don't worry about it.
So you're saying to me that you only think guys are good deals if they're for teams you can make fun of?
That is correct. That's why I'm here. That's why we created SwingBadder.
Your standards are double, and you can't even argue that. You have 2 standards. You might have triple standards.
I'm very inconsistent. If you're looking, where our podcast is called SwingBadder, we're not consistent, and we can change our opinion quickly. Thank you, Diamondbacks. Signed him. We got him. There's a lot more on the table. The one thing that's great is he's not going to steal any bases. So that's exciting.
There are comments to this announcement from the MLB Network on Twitter. Somebody just has the facepalm emoji with, I hate being a D-backs fan.
I agree with it. No one's going to go to the stadium and be like, that's who we got? That's great. Now, again, you can say he's going to help with professionalism, but the last 3 years he hasn't played, so it's not like he's got the longevity. I guess I can rest assured they didn't sign Joey Gallo.
Well, yeah.
For $11 million.
Yeah, again, but it's not much better for 4. I mean, that's the point. This is like, again, if you have a budget this year, stick to your budget. Just because you have an extra couple nickels, don't just go shopping or get the lotto ticket. Just save it. Save it for the rainy day fund, as we're getting today, a very rare time. Save it for minor league tickets.
He could probably also play for the Suns in a pinch.
Probably. I mean, geez, they have Chris Paul. He's 90.
Yeah. What's shocking to me is, number one, Evan Longoria is younger than the 2 pitchers that the Mets signed. That's shocking to me because I feel like Evan Longoria, I'm thinking of Desperate Housewives. Wasn't that actress Longoria? I keep thinking that she and him were married. Were they married?
No.
Are they related?
The guy's got enough problems. Don't give him that one.
For some reason, I've had Longoria.
She was with Tony Parker, going back to basketball, point guards that won a lot of championships, not named Chris Paul. Hey, Chris Paul, if you're out there, Tony Parker has more championships than you because he had Tim Duncan.
Okay. So all right. So we solved that. He is not as old as I think he is. He's still old.
So the season goes on, and that guy goes on the DL the first 2 weeks of the season, Brendan. I will say you may be right, but I'm thinking he's going to surprise us.
I would love to hear him get suspended for 60 games for PEDs. Then I know he's trying. That would make me feel good. Because it also saves the Diamondbacks 60 games of payments. Just say it.
That's true.
Just say it. Then it becomes a swing grader contract, not a SwingBadder contract.
But at that point, what is that? That's like 3 buckets of popcorn. There's nothing. I mean, it's $4 million.
We already know he's not going to play the whole season. So if he gets suspended for 60 of them, it's worth a shot. Hey, try.
He's getting paid more in a per diem.
For states.
We can stop complaining about this guy because, as Todd says, this is on the cheap. They didn't put much into this.
This is a motorcycle. This is their 3rd car. Fourth car. You're like, I need a car. I don't really care about it, but I'll just get this one. When you drive it Sundays, maybe Saturdays.
Right. Only when it's not raining and you've given it a good wax job.
Yeah, I look forward to the minor leagues in Arizona when he gets hurt. Yes, I do. Unless he, needle up, buddy. Needle. What else you got?
This was making the rounds on Twitter. Will Carroll at Injury Expert tweeted out, hearing we might get not 1 but 2 MLB team sales in the early part of 23, plus a stadium announcement. plus a stadium announcement. I think I have an idea of what the teams are. Dad, I'm going to toss it to you. What do you think? What are the two teams?
Well, I think everyone's thinking Oakland because they're going to Las Vegas. But that guy's making a lot of money losing, so I'm not sure he wants to sell yet. So Oakland would be the first team on my mind. I don't know. I really, this one perplexes me. I think, obviously, you got the Florida teams that can't draw flies. Tampa and Miami, they just don't get any attendance. But a lot of teams aren't getting attendance. Pittsburgh, a good team, not getting attendance. They're not a good team. Cincinnati, they're teams like that historically good teams, but they're just not good teams to watch. So no one's going to their games. So I don't know. There's just a couple names that come to mind just looking at performance. I don't know.
Brendan, what about you? Which teams are up for sale?
The teams I would love to hear were up for sale so they can reemerge because, like the Mets, have a great owner now who really wants to commit to winning. I would love to see the Minnesota Twins be sold to a committed owner that wants to rekindle the team that was once a very competitive, wonderful baseball team. That would bring back wonderful, wonderful gifts to everybody. The other two, for me personally, would be the Pirates, because I think the Pirates, again, just have so much history and so much wonderment to them. In fact, they still have one of the top jersey sales of their team is still Roberto Clemente. The old hats, everything about them, they could bring them back in style. I would love to see more aggressive ownership. Go after these teams to make them even better. So those would be my two fan favorites. The reality of the situation, it's probably the A's. To Dad's point, I mean, yeah, they're making money, but it'd be nice to see the owner just leave baseball. That would be good. The other team that I would like to see maybe being sold is maybe the Baltimore Orioles, because they're on the bottom heap. They're trying to get the most bang out they can. They want to walk away from baseball. This thing isn't for everybody, but I can see about 10 teams that I would like to see sold to aggressive owners that want to see make it happen.
So there are two teams that have announced in the past couple months that they are actively up for sale by two aging billionaires. So it could be these. The first one is the Nationals that are actively up for sale. The second one, Brendan, is your favorite. The Angels have announced that they are for sale.
I think they are for sale, now that you mentioned them.
Yep. So we could see a turnaround of fortune for the Angels. Maybe. I don't know.
If you're the owner of Apple, the owner of anybody aggressive, the Angels would be a fantastic, go all in and go after it like the Mets are. And don't do it the way that they've done it in the past. Do it different, but go after it. The fact that these players, like Trout, has not even seen a playoff game is just tragic.
It is.
So, yes, I would love to see the Angels go after it. Washington Nationals, they're located in a very crummy part of the world for America, our nation's capital, which is the largest debit bank account for all of the countries that come in. So, again, I would like to see a foreign country own the Nationals and for our government to subsidize the Nationals to be a winning team, and the Nationals would then, therefore, with their subsidies from the federal government of $1.5 billion, sign all the great players and beat everybody just because they have the finances. That's my dream scenario for the Nationals.
So you think a Saudi prince comes in and signs someone like Ronaldo at $200 million a year? To get somebody like that on the Nationals.
Why not Ronaldo himself? Why don't we get a couple of rich athletes like LeBron and Ronaldo, chip in and buy a team? What the heck?
Well,
they got nothing else to do with their money.
It worked out so well for Jordan and Jeter.
They don't want the criticism. The criticism, they're going to have to look at players and go, do I really want them? It's way better if the federal government subsidizes a team. I just think that's the best way to go. Just like
there are two teams that should be sold that you guys did not mention. Cincinnati should be sold. Whatever's going on there, they need to go back to being the Cincinnati Reds. I want the Cincinnati Reds to be a great baseball team. because I think baseball is better when you have teams that are competing across the board, and Cincinnati is by and large just phoning it in. So they should sell. I don't want anybody to sell Pittsburgh until we're in a position to buy Pittsburgh. So I want to wait on that. But kind of the same thing goes for them. Brendan.
And for those helping us buy Pittsburgh, please subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button. Help us out.
Buy some shirts.
Yeah, buy a hat.
Buy some shirts.
I mean, we're close, guys.
If you're in Pittsburgh, every hat and shirt you buy goes towards making your team competitive.
Absolutely. And if you don't believe that, you shouldn't go to Pirates games.
Can we have shirts that say "Buy more SwingBadder stuff, make Pittsburgh competitive again"?
Are they our adopted team?
We got to. Well, listen. Just because I'm all on board with the Lemieux having a monopoly in Pittsburgh.
Hey, there's another thing. That's right. Our cousin owns the Penguins.
Yep.
He's doing pretty good.
I'm with this. You put this in my brain. If we picture Washington as the corruption capital of America, why not have Trevor Bauer pitching for them? Or I guess I was trying to figure out, where does Trevor Bauer end up? Everybody's saying the Dodgers don't want to touch him, but it would seem to me Trevor Bauer's crime kind of fits in that Hollywood, L.A. genre of people.
But Washington is just ugly Hollywood.
Hold on, I have to step in here. We don't want to get sued. Allegedly, he's neither been convicted. He hasn't even gone to trial. It's all alleged. I think redemption tour of Trevor Bauer is going to be amazing. Clearly, he won't be signed by the Giants, but the Angels could sign him.
I agree that it's allegedly, but let's tell the truth. We're not letting our daughters date him, right?
No, he is not allowed. That's not happening.
Are we giving advice to daughters now?
Well, I'll give you advice to my daughters on not dating Trevor Bauer. How about that?
I mean, there's a couple multimillionaire women that would disagree with you guys.
Well, they can be multimillionaire women. So what about stadiums? What is the stadium announcement? Oakland?
It's got to be.
Oh, yeah.
The A's?
It's got to be. The Diamondbacks are begging for a new stadium because it's so old here. It's just so old. The Diamondbacks Stadium's beautiful. But it
is old. But believe it or not, it's one of the oldest stadiums in baseball.
That's because there was a run on stadiums. There was run on stadiums in baseball, and all the only ones that are still the Cubs, I believe the Dodgers and Boston were the teams that held off on doing a run on stadiums. Tampa and the Diamondbacks have old stadiums. Yeah, Oakland going to Vegas makes sense for a new stadium. The one thing that will shock anyone, if you go to Vegas, for those that have been to Vegas, have a comment if you want to comment about this. But I'm telling you right now, I've been to Vegas, flown into Vegas. The Raiders Stadium looks like a small facility on the Strip. Because those hotels are so massive and football stadiums are massive structures, it fits in. It literally looks like it's just one of the gang. It doesn't look like it's out of this world. I have other stadiums or other places that he's flown into, even going into London where they have those massive soccer stadiums. They are distinct. Everyone knows what they are. When I go into Vegas, I'm like, oh, the stadium's just that? Like it just fits in on the Strip. So if they put a baseball stadium on the Strip, I would love it. I think it would be fantastic. I think it would fit in wonderfully.
Maybe that's where our allegedly innocent Trevor Bauer should pitch. The Las Vegas A's.
Makes as much sense as anything else.
I mean, if he can bat too, I'd make him bat, hit. I mean, the team doesn't have enough players. So if he can play and be the third base coach when he's not pitching. I'm all for this idea of player coaches again. I think player coaches, I want it coming back. I don't think we need all these coaches getting paid a lot of money. If you're an owner and you want to save money in 2023 because inflation's got you against the ropes, just go to your dugout, pick one of your talented players, and say you're now the new manager of the team. I fired that guy. He doesn't look good in baseball uniform anyways. He's really old. No one wants to see him walk out there with baseball pants. We're gonna bring you on, and you're gonna be the manager.
If you did that, the manager of the Oakland A's would be like 23 years old. because they don't have any old players. So, or Tampa Bay, maybe you'd have 24-year-old manager.
If there is one team that should start applying this, it should be the A's. Like, I would love it if the position player is on third base as the coach, and he's like, I'm on deck. Yeah, I'm going to bat next. I'm just going to be the third base coach for this hitter, and then I'm going to run up and like a softball league.
Yeah, just make it like Little League, and then give everybody snow cones when the game's over.
It's something to be excited about. If you put a little tipsy too into it, I think all the players would be on board.
Wouldn't that be great if they instituted MLB team moms and they would show up with coolers at the end of the game and give out orange slices to everybody on the team? Cut up oranges in Ziploc bags?
Or watermelon filled with vodka?
Just Capri Sun pouches and orange slices just to make the kiddies feel good. And here's a pack of Big League Chew so you can feel like a grown-up boy.
Just if you wanted to be a team mom, Costco is where you want to go. And just for those that want to be a team mom for the adult softball league, Costco is selling Angel's Envy. This episode can be brought to you by Angel's Envy. It's a lovely whiskey. It's very, very inexpensive now at Costco. You can buy in bulk if you're interested. And I'm telling you, for adult league softball or basketball, or I don't know what you're playing out there, ultimate frisbee golf, these are very, very important sports. You need Angel's Envy to get you through the day.
We're providing all this free sponsorship. At some point, we should probably actually get a sponsor.
I would provide free sponsorship for Angel's Envy. It's beautiful.
I have one final thing I have to bring up after the stadium thing. And I do totally agree that Oakland needs to get rid of the A's and the A's need to get rid of Oakland. It's just like it's this horrible relationship. Anyway, so speaking of horrible relationships, if you have ever watched a Mets broadcast, the best part about watching the Mets on SNY, which is the Mets channel in New York, is listening to Keith Hernandez talk about the game. Because he just doesn't hold back. He's got amazing baseball knowledge. He's a free agent. SNY has not re-signed Keith Hernandez. And when I read this, I said to myself, this is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. Number one, it annoyed me to no end that the guy wasn't announcing the Mets in the postseason. He knows so much about baseball and so much about the team. But this is the crazy thing. The Mets, Steve Cohen doesn't own SNY. Guess who still owns SNY? The Wilpons. So of course they're going to do the wrong thing. They're going to make the wrong decision. They're going to let this guy... Get this. Keith Hernandez, with all of his baseball knowledge, which all of his passion for the New York Mets, do you know he was not allowed near the Mets batting cages to talk to the players until March of this year? When Buck Showalter said, I don't understand why he can't talk to the players. So now all of a sudden Buck Showalter fixes this and it finally ends, and all of a sudden Francisco Lindor he's hitting again. Like, the guy needs to be around the team, but it's the stupid Wilpons coming back because they still got to pay off Madoff. Anyway.
Todd, didn't the Mets just retire Hernandez's number?
Yes, but for some reason, the Wilpons don't like Keith Hernandez, and probably because he's told the truth a number of times. You can go on YouTube and you can look up Keith Hernandez highlights, like, when he's watching baseball. Him and Darlene and Gary Cohen, they're the best announcing team in baseball right now. They're absolutely hilarious.
I got an idea. I think that he should go on a station that will show him watching the Mets games on television and broadcasting from his living room with Lenny Dykstra by his side. I think that's a win.
God, that would be the best.
That's what SwingBadder.
That would be the best.
So
we're really not hiding our affection for Lenny.
With on-field talent, Jose Canseco.
We are acting like a college recruiter chasing Lenny. He's our goal.
Does SNY, they own all the rights to broadcast the MLB games for the Mets, I would imagine, right? They have to.
Yes.
So they are the ones.
Yeah, there are certain games that they have to give to Fox or they have to give to other stations. But really, probably like 120 games are on SNY.
But Dad's not wrong, because other other sports channels do live broadcasts where they are filming as they watch the teams play. So you could literally
during COVID.
Right.
It had to during COVID.
So you could literally have a dream lineup where if you wanted to, again, SwingBadder could work out the agreement with Keith Hernandez and Lenny Dykstra where they could be, having wonderful background and they could be watching the game and giving their insight. God knows I would love to see what Lenny would do at certain situations and things of that nature. You could have him watch multiple baseball games and have him commentary. Then you could have him for the playoffs as well, Todd, to your point. So you could be watching the game or listening to them and they could be broadcast because they're live reacting to the sporting event. I agree. I think the Mets have been very blessed. I think, sadly, again, just a thorn in the side of Mets fans, the fact that they continue to annoy and not do what's right for what the fans need, in my opinion. And again, going back to sports in general, it's a very, very easy formula, and they complicate it because of two words: middle management. That's all I can say. Because they're reviewing the contract. Like, I don't think Keith Hernandez is worth that much. While some guy's sitting at home, being his middle manager self. So again, save your money. The middle managers, your time is up. It's time to move on from them. Let's directly negotiate with Keith. Let's get Keith and Lenny reacting straight to the game on our SwingBadder reaction tour of baseball. I think that would be fantastic. I would tune in every day to that.
Yeah, that's all I have today. So
that's some good quick hitters. I look forward to some more signings of some key components to the teams. Dad, any final thoughts from you for today?
Well, it's January 1st. That means 6 weeks. Pitchers and catchers report, and everyone's undefeated and ready to win a pennant. All 30 teams until opening day.
Todd, final thoughts? 30 teams? I don't know.
Dear sweet Lord, fix the Carlos Correa thing so I can shave finally. And would you guys please sign Keith Hernandez before he gets signed as a manager somewhere, please?
Oh, yeah. That would be pretty great. Look forward to the player management coming back. That would be great. I look forward to our next podcast. Thank you, Todd. Thank you, Dad. And for all you out there, please check out the website, SwingBadder.com. I hope you enjoy it. And for those of you that are shopping or in the mood to shop this Valentine's season, give your loved one SwingBadder because they went to the store and they swung very bad. That's all I got. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great night.